We have a question from Herman. Very frustrated individual. I have a 1992 Suzuki Intruder and I'm having a hell of a time getting the dust seal cap off. Any advice? These only have one gap on one side of the fork. I've tried WD-40 and banging on it with a small screwdriver. Ouch. Thanks in advance. Alright, Herman. Dust seals can be extremely stubborn. Extremely stubborn would be a fair thing to say, especially with something that old that maybe the rubber itself has hardened, which will make it even more difficult to get out. Perhaps in the downloads that you may have seen in the trailers for those downloads for fork services and fork seal replacements on the Throttles website, I've used a little heat in the fork itself to try and expand the fork, which makes it much easier to get the seal out, including the dust seal. So if the forks are on your bike, Herman, you want to remove the brakes, you want to remove the wheel, you need to remove the fender and any cables that may be in the way before you apply any heat. Obviously, at the instances we've shown in the video, I've used a propane torch and very gently heated the area where the oil seal is to be able to get the seal out. Now obviously with a dust seal, as you've tried a screwdriver and getting a screwdriver in there to get the dust seal down, the dust seal may by now be damaged. So if that's the case, then you're much better off going ahead and taking the forks off, just get new seals in it, unless they were done recently, and get new dust seals put in as well. Now whenever new dust seals get put in, there should be a tiny bit of grease all the way around the step in the dust seal, so that when it locates into the fork tube itself, removal is easy because there's grease there rather than it being just straight rubber and getting basically stuck in there over time. As there is a step in there, if you find you can create a small gap, then slowly get a larger and larger blade screwdriver in there to gently, and I mean gently, work that around, because the last thing you want to do is mar the outside of your fork tube itself, where you're putting the screwdriver blade against the dust seal and working it against the harder component, the fork outer tube, to get the seal to move. Now if you can get a decent gap on it, you can gently, and I reinforce the word gently here, tap down against the dust seal at an acute angle to gently work that out. Again, heat very much helps those things. But if you've been hitting it with a screwdriver, I doubt it's going to be in very good condition. So if you're really struggling with it, take it to a suspension professional or a good shop around where you are and have them replace the dust seal and the oil seal, and then make sure they grease the dust seal so it's easy to pop that down, so that every 4 to 6 months you can go ahead and re-grease your fork oil seal. Thanks for your question, Herman. Hope you get resolution to your stubborn dust seal. If you have questions for me, please send them via Facebook to Dave Moss Tuning, or post them here on Catalyst Reaction SBW on YouTube. Thanks a lot.